listening to the LOZ Podcast Network.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the LOZ Podcast Network, another edition of Coves and Keys today. And that's the show where we talk about real estate at the lake. And right now, you might be watching us in the LOZ app, or you might even be hearing us on KRMS radio because we do a simulcast every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So, you know, if you're seeing us, then congratulations. And if you're just listening to us, well, that works as well. And we have a guest today, Tammy Rosenthal. Tammy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Trying to stay warm here. Winter.
We just had a snow, or a couple snows, you know. I mean, it snowed over Thanksgiving, and now it snowed again this week. So I'm sure the whole lake's in a turmoil over all that. But that's a good introduction into, we are into winter, right? I mean, we're there. And the real estate market looks different in the winter than it does in the summer or spring, right? So we're talking today about what does the winter season look like for real estate, and what's going on there now? In your view, what are you seeing right now?
All right. Well, contrary to popular belief, we do not roll up the sidewalks in the winter anymore. We still have a very active real estate market all winter long. And there's actually advantages for buyers and sellers, both, who are looking in the winter. Some advantages for sellers is, you know, a lot of sellers will take their property off the market in the winter, so there's less competition for you. The buyers that are actually looking in the wintertime are usually more serious. You know, they're not here just on vacation because it's warm out and they're boating around. They're actually here for a purpose. They're here to look at properties, and they're usually very serious about that. They have their financing in place, or a lot of times they're cash buyers. So that's good for sellers. Buyers, on the flip side, you know, the advantages for buyers is you can kind of see a little bit more of the full picture when you're here in the winter. You can check out your water depth that you might not see in the summer because of the lake drawdown. You could check out kind of the insulation of the home, the heating, cooling system. Check and make sure that those are actually working, because you'll feel it in the home. You can, leaves are off the trees. You can see what your neighbor's house looks like that you might not see another time, or see what it looks like across the cove. There's just a lot of advantages for both buyers and sellers buying in the winter, I think.
And that's interesting because, you know, you have, and that's a great point. You know, if I come down in the winter, I'm a buyer. I'm not going to make a trip down. But also, I think, you know, you never just move into something that's completely ready. So, I mean, I think people are saying, look, if I get into something now, that gives me the whole spring to kind of get done what I need to get done on the property, or get it closed, and then I'm ready to go for the season. Because let's face it, you don't want to spend all this money on a place close in July when the season's half over. So this is a really good time to get out and kind of look for what it is you want to do, the area of the lake you want to be in, and you can really focus on a lot of the different amenities and those things that you're going to want when the summer gets here, but get it all done ahead of time.
Definitely. And a lot of times it's easier to find a contractor in the wintertime because they're not so busy. And you can get someone on the books to do those changes that you want to have it ready by summer.
And you guys help your buyers and sellers with that, right? Like you have contacts all around the lake where you can, and I need flooring, I need a roof, I need, you know, landscaping, those kind of things. You guys have all those in your little Rolodex, right? So you can
Yes,
get
we
them.
do. Definitely. Yep.
And that's the advantage of having someone who is a professional who lives at the lake. I hear people all the time like, oh, I'm going to use my brother. He's a real estate agent out of St. Louis, and he can, you know, find a place for me. Well, you don't want to do that at the Lake of the Ozarks. I mean, there's just too many things.
Thank you for mentioning that, because, Frank Campbell team, we live here, we work here. It's very important to have someone that knows what the lake is like year round, that lives here. They know what the traffic is. And I say traffic because, you know, I lived in St. Louis and there's not traffic here. You know, but just the different areas and stuff. Whenever you have an agent, you know, from out of the area, St. Louis or Kansas City, and they own a condo here, they're still just vacationing here. They really don't know all the ins and outs of the area.
And I mean, let's face it, there's so many things you got to talk about. You might be dealing with docks or seawalls or, you know, anything.
I just mentioned earlier, water depth. I mean, if you're only vacationing here in the summer, all you see is the lake at full pool. You don't realize so many times people don't realize that Ameren actually has an annual drawdown that they take the lake down. They can take it down, 5, 6 feet. And at that point, if you haven't done your due diligence, your dock might be sitting in mud in the wintertime. And if you're a fisherman, you're not going to be very happy because you're not going to be able to get your boat out. So
Yeah,
just knowing things like that. Yeah.
that's not what you want. I mean, and
No.
I like to, our listeners and our viewers, I like to give them a little nugget. So everybody wants a deal, right? I mean, hey, we all don't want to overpay. So if I'm out there looking right now, and let's just pick a market, the condo market at the
Yep.
lake.
That
Is
would be
there
the one I
some-
would pick if
Is
I
there
was
some deals
a
to be had
buyer.
in the condo market right now?
Yes, I definitely think there's some deals to be had in the condo market right now. Our condo market is the only sector that is down a little bit this year, and it's not really down that much year to date. From last year to this year, it's only down about 1.4% in the number of transactions. But there are some condo sellers that are getting pretty motivated to sell.
And I think that comes off the heels of maybe a lot of people bought in COVID. They might have bought with the intention to rent to get some offset income, and that market has exploded. So where the competition is crazy right now for rentals at the lake. I mean, there's just a lot of people renting, and so it's got to take a toll on a certain group that if you were depending on half of your place to be paid for by rental income, and all of a sudden maybe that market has shifted a little bit and gotten a little soft. There's people that are probably motivated to say, okay, I think we tried this. It was great, but we're going to get out.
Yep,
And so
definitely.
that's an opportunity. So, I mean, and when somebody comes down there and they want to look at condos, with you, I mean, what do you tell them? Are you looking at location first? I mean, is that always where you go? Is it like, where do you want to be on the lake and then start there? Or is it size and amenities?
Well, I mean, first would be, do you want the ability to rent or do you not want the ability to rent? Because that's gonna definitely knock some properties off depending on if you want to rent or you don't want to rent. So I think that's a good first starting place. And then, you think you know where you want to be, but you don't always know where you want to be. So I think just having real open and honest conversations with your agents about what you like to do, if you like to be around a lot of people, if you don't like to be around a lot of people, if you like to go fishing or if you like to go motorboating, fast boats, stuff kind of things. I think those all kind of play into where you want to be and what you want to do at the lake. So,
Yeah, and I've been to some complexes that are just so serene. There's a couple buildings you don't see a lot of people, and then I've been to some that are multi-faceted buildings with 3 or 4 pools, and I mean it's party all the time, and you get to kind of pick what you want to do, and that's the beauty of it. There's something for everybody.
there is. I mean, there's some great condo complexes. If you want to actually live there full time, you probably don't want to be at a condo complex that does a lot of rentals. There's a couple of condo complexes down here that a lot of people live there full time. And then they actually have activities. They'll get together, they'll have potlucks, they have pickleball courts, and they'll have tournaments and things like that. If that's your thing, then we've got the place for you there. So just knowing that.
And being able to boat, I mean, let's face it,
Mhm.
I mean, docks are expensive. I mean, you
Yes.
you put a dock in on a home, you're looking at adding a couple $100,000 to the price. In the condo market, it's kind of all turnkey. So they're usually sold with the dock, and there's been so much building down there that they kind of had the foresight to start building these docks a little bigger. So for the most part, you can get a lot of stuff done, with a decent sized boat and get into a nice
Mhm.
condo and for a pretty good price right now.
Right. I mean, you can get into a really nice condo with a good boat slip for less than 500,000.
Yeah, but I mean, I keep seeing those big houses go up all over the place. So I mean,
Oh yeah.
that's amazing, and that's good for the lake. I mean, let's face it, there's a lot coming into the lake. We got a lot of things going on. Maybe I hear maybe some casinos coming in.
Maybe.
It's the old lake is going to be gone here. It's going to definitely, which is good for everybody who has businesses down there. It's good for
Right.
everybody who's trying to live in there full time. So we love promoting the lake and we want it to be successful. There's always a spot you can find down a cove somewhere out, on the 60-mile mark where you can get away from everybody, but it's definitely changing down there.
It is definitely changing. And actually, I want to tell you the largest sector of our markets for the last 2 years has actually been the offshore homes sales. Um, yeah, I mean, we don't talk about that much. Last year, 903 sales, and this year, 997 sales. So it's 10%, over 10% increase over last year in homes off the water. So, which also brings me to a good point. Sometimes people think they want to be on the water, um, but there are some really nice homes that you can get off the water that might have a lake view. They might even have a boat slip and a community dock, so you can get some really nice homes that way too. If you don't want to spend, the higher priced dollars, and you still want to be here at the lake and have those amenities.
Well, it sounds like there's something for everybody. We sure enjoy catching up with you. And everybody, I encourage you, go in the LOZ app. Tammy Rosenthal's in there. Fran Campbell team. You can click one click. You're talking to them. They know the lake. They know what's going on. They will help you. And they will help you find that dream home that you've been looking for at the lake. I appreciate you coming on with us, and we'll get you back on in the spring to get a new update as we get closer. And we always appreciate your you coming on with us and giving us your info, because you got all the info and all the deets on what's going on real estate at the lake.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right, everybody, we will be right back after these messages.